In a world where teenagers' dreams often remain in their imagination, a student fulfills her most desired fantasy. Well, she starts to become interested in a famous actor who, little by little, will do whatever it takes to spend time with her. Let's get started. Our story begins with what seems like a classic love story. A boy meets a girl, they fall in love, start a relationship, face problems, but the soda is always present. However, the scene turns out to be a Coca-Cola advertisement featuring the star of the moment, Kaede Ayase. This actor, known for his charisma and talent, has won over thousands of fans who can't stop watching the ad. Time and time again. While all the girls in the country seem to be obsessed with Kaede, there's someone who remains unaffected by this craze, Hinana. She is a young student known for her dedication and hard work. As an honor student, Hinana takes her studies very seriously and works hard to achieve excellence. Her commitment to education is only matched by her devotion to her family. She is so focused on her responsibilities that she doesn't even know who the current celebrity is. One of her closest friends, Susie, takes it upon herself to explain that Kaede Ayase is a former member of the idol group Funny Bone. Since he left the group, his acting career has taken off, making him the most popular star in the nation. Despite Susie's enthusiastic explanation, Hinana shows no interest. Even while her friend tries to grab her attention, she doesn't look up from her notes, reaffirming her commitment to her academic goals. Hinana's routine reflects her organization and discipline. She wakes up every day early at 5 in the morning to prepare her breakfast since her parents work long hours at their restaurant. At 6, she wakes up and gets her little sister dressed before heading to school. After a school day that ends at 6 in the evening, she looks for her little sister and takes her home. There, she continues to fulfill her role as an older sister, helping her with schoolwork and taking care of her, although her life is full of responsibilities and Hinana does not complain. However, while watching the Coca-Cola advertisement, she can't help but think about what it would be like to find her own Prince Charming. One day something unexpected happens. She receives a call from Susie, who excitedly informs her that Kaede Ayase will be filming a movie at their high school. In addition, they are looking for students to act as extras. All students are given the opportunity to participate, and although she initially seems indifferent, Hinana cannot contain her joy. She asks her friend to write her name on the list, justifying her decision with the possibility of earning some extra money. The next day, the school is in chaos. The film crew arrives with all their equipment, disrupting the usual routine. Hinana, Susie, and other selected students line up for the filming, where they are instructed to act as students working in a lab. Meanwhile, Susie can't hide her excitement about being close to the famous actor, while Hinana tries to stay calm and not show too much emotion. During the filming, Hinana accidentally bumps into Kaede Ayase. Astonished, she doesn't know how to react. Kaede quickly apologizes and continues with the filming, but from a distance he throws a smile at Hinana, leaving the young girl even more confused. Later, Susie asks her if she managed to see the actor up close. Hinana, trying to maintain her carefree appearance, insists that she didn't pay any attention to him. Her friend insists that she should pay attention to him, describing him as very attractive and charming, even though everything seems to continue normally. An incident changes Hinana's perception of Kaede as she picks up a soda can that had fallen in the yard. She notices that Kaede is watching from a balcony, clearly excited as a group of cheerleaders rehearses a scene, surprised. Hinana. She realizes that the actor is completely absorbed, watching their backsides. Outraged, she decides to leave, but in her hurry, she trips and ends up showing her own backside. To her surprise, Kaede comments that he gives her an 86 on a scale from 1 to 100, which isn't a bad score. The comment leaves Hinana deeply disturbed. The next day, Hinana wakes up, convinced that it was all a strange dream. However, after taking her measurements, she confirms that she indeed has 86 centimeters in hips, which makes her doubt whether what happened was real. While cleaning her house, she keeps trying to convince herself that it was all a misunderstanding and that the person she saw must have been a KED lookalike. On the weekend, Hinana decides to spend some time alone and visits a nearby park. After relaxing, she heads to the mall to keep her promise of buying a stuffed bear for her sister. While she's trying to win it at a claw machine, a stranger approaches her and gives her instructions on how to handle it properly. Thanks to his help, she manages to get the stuffed animal, but when she turns to thank him, she discovers that the stranger is Kaede Ayase. The actor casually calls her 86, which is somewhat disturbing to her, but it also confirms that it is indeed him. In the calm, Hinana can't help but shout his name, drawing the attention of nearby fans. To avoid the commotion, Katie takes her hand and they both run away from the place. After a long career, Hinana asks him what he was doing at the mall. Kaede replies that he was looking for a female action figure, which she finds curious and funny. However, the conversation is interrupted when Hinana realizes that she's running late for the movies. As she tries to run, her heel breaks, and even though Kaede tries to help her, she insists that she's fine and quickly says goodbye, assuring him that she won't reveal her particular fondness for butts. Kaede, for his part, is charmed by Hinana's authenticity and friendliness. At the cinema, she can't help but look at his hand, remembering how he held it, and tells herself that maybe she should never wash it. However, while she's lost in her thoughts, Kaede unexpectedly shows up and sits next to her. He asks her if she likes romantic movies, but Hinana, trying to keep her composure, she replies that it was a coincidence. After the movie, Hinana admits that she really likes romantic stories and dreams of experiencing a romance, something she has never had. Kaede, with an unexpectedly thoughtful gesture, hands her his own shoes to replace the ones that were broken. Before saying goodbye, he tells her that she deserves a romance as special as the one she dreams of. This comment leaves Hinana reflecting on Kaede's true intentions, while the actor walks away, increasingly intrigued by the young woman who has managed to capture his attention. The next day, Hinana wears the shoes that Kaede gave her, but she finds herself in a dilemma, unsure whether to return them or not. During a conversation with her friends in class, discussions arise about the universities they plan to attend. In this context, one of her classmates remembers that Hinana used to play the piano, a talent she set aside over time. Although she dismisses it as something irrelevant, the mention leaves an impression on her friends. Meanwhile, Suzy suggests to Hinana that she should act like a normal high school girl and fall in love at least once before graduating. However, Hinana replies that it would interfere with her studies, something she is not willing to allow. This statement discourages Akira, her childhood friend, who is secretly in love with her, but Hinana only sees him as a good friend. As they chat, Kaede walks through the school hallways, catching the attention of all the girls. Without warning, Kaede walks into Hinana's classroom, causing a stir among the students. When everyone finally calms down, Kaede walks straight over to Hinana. In a gesture worthy of a fairy tale prince, he kneels before her and hands her a new pair of shoes, leaving everyone surprised. Once the commotion at school has passed, Hinana makes a decision. At the end of the day, she approaches Kaede Ayase to return the shoes he gave her. Despite the awkwardness of the moment, she decides to confront him firmly. Kaede, surprised by her gesture, seizes the opportunity to create a new bond with her. In a spontaneous act, he takes Hinana's hand and writes his phone number in her palm. Before leaving, he asks her to call him, and by the way, he finally wants her to reveal her name, since up until that moment he has been referring to her as 86. That night, after thinking about it a lot, Hinana decides to gather her courage and dial the number that Kaede gave her. However, she gets a big surprise upon hearing an automated message informing her that the number she dialed cannot answer at the moment. Frustrated and somewhat confused, she wonders if Kaede was making fun of her or if it was just a mistake. In another part of the city, Kaede is at a fancy cafe meeting with a famous actress from the industry. She, excited, informs him that both have been selected for an exciting new film project. The movie will require them to play two lovers, which seems to excite the actress much more than Kaede. Although he is aware of the project and its importance for his career, his enthusiasm is moderate, since his mind seems to be elsewhere. The next day, Hinana, visibly affected by what had happened, decides to erase any trace of Kaede from her life. She washes her hands vigorously, trying to scrub off the number he wrote. Her friends, noticing her strange behavior, look at her with concern, but she avoids any explanation. Inside, she struggles with the conflicting feelings that Kaede has awakened in her. Meanwhile, at school, the filming of Kaede's movie continues without any major issues. However, the actor's fans have found out that he is working in the field. This causes a wave of girls trying to sneak in to see him. This situation makes Kaede Yamada, the actor's manager, nervous, as he reminds him that his acting career is still not solid enough. As if to allow himself distractions, Yamada insists that he needs to focus on his work and avoid any situation that could distract him or jeopardize his public image. As Yamada gives him this advice, something unexpected happens. Hinana walks in front of the car. Where are Kaede and his manager? Upon seeing her, Kaede interrupts the conversation, apologizes, and gets out of the car to meet her. Hinana, surprised, tries to stay calm as Kaede catches up to her. The two start talking, and Kaede quickly expresses his disappointment that she never called him. Hinana, indignant, replies that she did call him, but that every time it ended up in the mailbox. To prove it, she shows him her phone. Kaede checks the number and with a mix of surprise and guilt realizes that he gave her his old number. Trying to make up for the mistake, he takes out his phone to save his new number in Hinana's device. However, she stops him, saying that she prefers not to. Hinana explains to him that she feels like he is playing with her, and that although she was attracted to him at one point, she has decided to stop waiting for something she considers impossible. After saying this, she walks away with determination. Kaide, however, is not willing to let things end like this. He follows her, and in an unexpected move, he leans close to her ear and whispers that it's okay to have expectations. Before Hinana can react, Kaide, through his mask, gives her a quick kiss on the cheek. The gesture leaves her completely stunned. Hinana confronts him and asks, "Why did you do that?" Kaide, with a smile, replies that he still doesn't know her name. Finally, Hinana formally introduces herself, revealing her full name. Kaide, satisfied, invites her on an official date, leaving Hinana confused but also intrigued about what could happen between them. The next day, Hinana wakes up filled with excitement and nerves as she gets ready for her date with Kaide Ayase. A bit clumsily, she starts picking out her underwear, wanting to make sure everything is perfect for the big moment. However, when Akira, her childhood friend, walks by her room and finds the floor covered with clothes, the situation becomes extremely awkward. Akira, visibly nervous, tries to play it cool, while Hinana, embarrassed, does her best to change the subject and get him out of the room. The date finally begins, and Kaide surprises Hinana by taking her to his apartment. The place turns out to be a luxurious apartment with an amazing view of the city, something that leaves Hinana completely speechless. Boku? Thank you. That day, Hinana and Akira are working together at his family's flower shop. A joking customer comments that the two make an adorable couple and that they should get married. Inspired by the comment, Akira decides to jokingly propose to Hinana. However, when she laughs and dismisses the idea as something impossible, Akira realizes that his feelings are unrequited. The situation leaves him deeply hurt. Even though he tries to hide his sadness, suddenly the flower shop receives an unexpected call. It's the production of Katie's movie requesting a bouquet of flowers. Hinana, excited about the possibility of seeing him, once again she offers to make the delivery. However, what starts as a joyful moment soon turns into a painful experience. Upon arriving on set, she finds Kaide filming a scene where he kisses the co-star actress. Even though she knows it's all acting, she can't help but feel that her self-esteem takes a hard hit. Devastated, Hinana runs out of the set with tears streaming down her face. Kaide, seeing her run away, interrupts what he's doing and runs after her. Finally, he catches up to her and asks if they can talk in a private place. Once they are alone, Hinana explains to him that she was on set because she had gone to deliver the flowers. Even though she tries to hide her true feelings, she ends up confessing that her tears are not just from sadness but also from frustration. Shyly, Hinana tells him that she would like him to be her first kiss. Kaide, true to his unpredictable personality, responds in a completely unexpected way. Instead of kissing her, he gives her a little bite on the nose and declares that this way he's reserving her and no one else will be able to kiss her. Hinana, confused and somewhat annoyed. She doesn't know how to react to such a peculiar gesture. Meanwhile, the two young people are unaware that Kaide's co-star actress has been spying on them. Seeing them together and noticing the intimacy between them, she starts to suspect that they have a secret relationship. This opens up the possibility for the actress to use this information for her own benefit, putting not only Kaide's career at risk but also the growing relationship between him and Hinana. Days go by and the relationship between Kaide and Hinana starts to become more stable, to the point that she decides to invite him to a special gathering, Akira's birthday. Hinana is excited about the idea of formally introducing her wife, Kaide, to her friends, although she also knows that this means revealing their secret relationship. Upon arriving at the celebration, everyone is shocked to see that the star of the moment is with them. The biggest surprise, however, comes from Akira, who had planned to confess her feelings that night, something that clearly will no longer be possible. The evening goes by pleasantly, filled with laughter and good company. Hinana's friends, although still somewhat skeptical, begin to accept Kaide's presence. However, at one point, Akira and Kaide find themselves alone in the kitchen. Seizing the opportunity, Akira confronts Kaide and directly asks him what his true intentions are with Hinana. He accuses him of taking advantage of an innocent girl, but Kaide, far from getting upset, notices something important. Akira is in love with Hinana. With a slightly challenging smile, Kaide reproaches Akira for not having done anything about it before he came into the picture. Kaide's words leave Akira reflecting on his own actions, or the lack of them. At the end of the night, Hinana and Kaide say goodbye to their friends. However, Kaide, feeling a bit threatened by Akira's presence, he asks Hinana to meet the next day alone. She, excited about the proposal, accepts without hesitation. The next day, Hinana arrives at Kaide's apartment for their date. When the doorbell rings, Kaide greets her with somewhat peculiar behavior. He is wrapped only in a towel, having just come out of the shower. Hinana, surprised and a bit embarrassed, tries to look away, while Kaide laughs at her reaction. After getting changed, the situation improves and they both start to relax. During their time together, Kaide tries to practice a piano score for a role he's preparing for, but he admits that he's having trouble with the piece. It is then that Hinana, by chance, she reveals that she knows how to play the piano and that she used to practice a lot before having to give it up due to her family's financial difficulties. The confession creates an intimate moment between them, and Hinana decides to help him dry his hair while she studies the sheet music. The closeness between the two feels natural and comforting, strengthening their connection. Before saying goodbye, Kaide hands Hinana a key to his apartment, telling her that she can come over whenever she wants. This gesture fills Hinana with happiness, as she feels that their relationship is becoming more serious. However, upon returning home, Hinana realizes that she's late to pick up her little sister. Her mother, noticing her recent absences, asks her if she's dating someone. Hinana, although nervous, firmly denies it, assuring that it's not the case. The response doesn't completely convince her mother, who starts to worry that her daughter might be involved in an inappropriate relationship. At school, Hinana hears some news that unsettles her. Kaide's co-star actress has broken up with her boyfriend. The rumor makes Hinana feel a growing insecurity, fearing that the actress might be interested in Kaide. In search of solutions, she asks her friend Suzy for advice on how to improve her appearance. Suzy, although amused by the situation, offers her some suggestions in an attempt to cheer her up. Meanwhile, Kaide has an unexpected encounter with some former members of his old band, Funny Bone. The meeting leads him to reflect on simpler times before his acting career took off. The memories are nice. He also feels guilt if by following his own path he betrayed them. Hinana decides to visit Kaide. He betrayed them in some way. Later that night, Hinana decides to visit Kaide. When she arrives at his apartment, she rings the doorbell, but to her surprise, the voice that answers on the intercom isn't Kaide's, but that of the co-star actress. Coldly, the actress hangs up saying that she's nobody. Confused, Hinana remembers that she has the key Kaide gave her and decides to go in. Upon doing so, she finds Kaide and the actress in a compromising situation. Without waiting for explanations, Hinana runs out with tears in her eyes. Kaide, alarmed, runs after her and manages to catch up with her. In a secluded place, he tries to explain to her what happened. Hinana, between sobs. She tells him that she perfectly understands that she will never be able to compete with someone like the actress, who has beauty, experience, and confidence. She assures him that it would be better for him to be with someone like her, and not with an ordinary girl like Hinana. Kaide, visibly affected by her words, returns to his apartment and confronts the actress. He asks her to leave, making it clear that he has no interest in her. However, the actress, instead of leaving, confesses to him that she has always been in love with him, even back when they were part of the same band. Her declaration complicates the situation even further, leaving Kaide in a dilemma he didn't expect to face. The next day, Akira visits a depressed Hinana in her room and ends up confessing his love to her. This unexpected moment adds another problem to Hinana's already tumultuous life, as she doesn't know how to handle the situation. Days go by and the relationship between Hinana and Akira becomes awkward, since she can't reciprocate his feelings. However, things take a different turn when Hinana has an encounter with Kaide's co-star actress, who confesses to her that she tried to separate her from Ayase but was rejected by him. With this in mind, Hinana decides to prioritize her problems. She heads to Akira's flower shop to talk to him and clear things up. Hinana tells him that she understands his feelings, but that she can't do anything about it, since although she cares for him a lot, she is in love with Ayase. Akira, despite being deeply hurt, decides to respect his friend's wishes and they agree to remain friends. However, that doesn't mean Akira is happy with the situation. Still, they are young and time can heal their wounds. That night, Hinana gathers the courage to call Ayase and clarify what happened. To her surprise, it's Kaide who shows up in person at her house, looking to apologize for the misunderstanding. Kaide explains to her that he also has insecurities because of their very different lifestyles. But ever since he met her and she accepted him, just as it is, he realized that he was in love with her. They both apologize to each other and hug, reconciling once and for all. Sometime later, Hinana and Ayase have a date at an amusement park. Upon arriving, Hinana is surprised to see that the park is closed, but soon discovers that Kaide rented it out just for the two of them, looking for a quiet and special day. The two have fun like kids, riding attractions and enjoying a carefree day, under the watchful eye of the park's mascot, who turns out to be none other than Kaide's manager, disguised as a bear to keep a close watch on everything. At the end of the day, Kaide and Hinana make their relationship official, not with a kiss, but with a pendant that he gives her as a symbol of their commitment. Hinana is delighted by the gesture, feeling that their relationship is growing stronger every day. Time passes and everything seems to be going wonderfully. However, the tranquility is shattered when Hinana's birthday, which was supposed to be a day of celebration, turns into a scandal. The relationship between Hinana and Kaide is exposed by the media, and Kaide's career hangs by a thread. Meanwhile, journalists are trying to find out who the mysterious high school student is that stole his heart. Hinana, worried about the impact this might have on Kaide's career, wants to go out and clear things up. However, her mother, who has discovered her secret, stops her. She explains to her that if it becomes public, there will be no turning back. And she asks her, "What do you really feel for Kaide?" Hinana responds that she has always respected him, but that she loves him and is willing to sacrifice for him. This sincere moment allows Hinana to reconcile with her worried mother, who begins to understand her daughter's feelings. On his part, Kaide receives a reprimand from his manager, Yamada, who reminds him of the rules of the game and what is at stake. Kaide, although he understands the implications of his actions, admits that he couldn't help but fall in love with Hinana. Days later, Hinana receives a call from Yamada, who explains to her how serious the situation is and reveals the story behind Kaede. When Kaede left his band, many accused him of betrayal, believing he was abandoning the group to seek fame in the movies. However, the reality was much more complex. Kaede was forced to leave the band due to a throat illness that prevented him from continuing to sing. With his music career over, he found a new passion in acting, which is now in jeopardy because of the scandal. With this information, Hinana decides to act for the sake of the person she loves. She meets with Kaede at the same movie theater where their relationship began, and through tears, she ends their relationship. Kaede, shocked, can't say anything as she walks away. Shortly after, Kaede holds a press conference where he publicly apologizes and promises to focus exclusively on his career. This gesture emotionally destroys Hinana, who watches the press conference from her classroom where it seems mandatory for all the students to follow it live. With a broken heart, Hinana heads to the school rooftop to be alone. Akira, worried about her, follows her and hugs her, encouraging her to cry as much as she needs to. On the other hand, Kaede receives an unexpected visit from his former band leader, who reminds him that he is not obligated to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders and that sometimes it's okay to accept help. 3 years later, Kaede has become an award-winning actor with a career that keeps growing. Meanwhile, Hinana has resumed her piano lessons and maintains her friendship with Akira, although she still has feelings for Kaede. On the other hand, Yamada receives a letter that he is debating whether to give to Kaede or not. On Hinana's birthday, Akira gives her a movie ticket, but later informs her that he won't be able to join her. Meanwhile, Kaede is celebrating winning a prestigious award at a party in his honor. During the celebration, Yamada hands him a very familiar movie ticket and helps him escape from the party. The letter that Yamada hands over is a letter from Akira to Kaede, in which she confesses that Hinana never stopped loving him and that no matter how hard she tried, she could never replace him in her heart. Akira, in a noble gesture, decides that Kaede should be the birthday gift for Hinana on her 18th birthday. Kaede arrives at the movie theater, but the show has already ended. Disappointed, he returns home, but on the way, he runs into Hinana, who probably just stepped out to the bathroom, or something like that. Kaede, without hesitation, declares his love for her and gifts her a beautiful pair of shoes as a token of his affection, fulfilling Hinana's dream of being a princess in her own love story. Excited, Hinana accepts the gesture, and the two kiss just before midnight, marking the beginning of a new stage in their relationship. Now that Hinana has come of age, her love can bloom freely, with a future full of possibilities ahead. And so this story full of emotions, romance, and sacrifices comes to an end, where the protagonists show us that true love can overcome even the toughest obstacles. If you like this summary, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more content like this. Turn on the notification bell to receive all updates. And tell me in the comments, what do you think about the ending of this movie? See you in the next video. Until next time.